Did we meet each other like outside? Was it outside of Westlake?
You know what's so crazy?
I
We,
don't. Tell me.
Let
No.
me tell you. You're right. And it's so funny. We met in this room.
Wait, we met in this room?
You was young. You was 15, and I was working. And the first time I believe I met you is I walked in and you was
It was
15.
in sync
Yeah.
session?
Yep.
Man, your memory is better than mine.
Nah, because I remembered. And he was like, yo, man, I love your shit. Blah, 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 blah.
Oh, yeah.
And you had
No,
the bandana on your head.
oh, yeah. No, I remember like when I first met Tim, my relationship with Tim's music had gone back to like it went back to when I heard The Bachelor and Super Duper Fly. Like those two albums, the DNA of the production, you know, not just even the drum sounds, the DNA of the production had this thing, and I was like, oh, this has to be the same producer. And then you started hearing about like the whole Virginia Beach and y'all coming up and then the Aaliyah stuff, obviously. So I was 13 or 14, and I remember saying to my mother, I was like, I don't know who that is, but I'm going to work with him. I don't know if you believe in manifestation out there, but I do. And then, you know, years later, I mean, I basically came to you with on Justified.
Yes. I think it was instant
It was
chemistry.
instant. But I think it's also, too, like, there was already a DNA to my songwriting by the time I got to Tim. And you always want to create something that feels originally you. And I think I wrote, sang, and did all the backgrounds on Cry Me a River in like 2 hours. But Tim had just made the beat for it. So I don't know. I mean, that feels like instant chemistry to me.
I think the aha moment for me is when I was in the studio and I was beatboxing. And I had like this beatbox. And so he walked in the room. You know, had this face. Then he just it hit him right there. And he started humming. I was like, oh, this it. He the one. The one, boy. Like Neo. You know, he's the one.
That was a moment.
That was a moment. Like
Those sessions, I mean, we really only worked those sessions for like a week or something, right? Like
Yeah.
it wasn't like a long drawn out sessions. I think we did like a song or two a day.
yeah. And I think at that moment, it was the beginning of what we are today.
Oh, for sure. All of that moment for me specifically was like, I felt like I had so much to prove to myself because I was coming from such a humongous group and a humongous movement of pop music, you know, like that there was like a real sound around like what people were considering pop music before I went solo. And so I feel like I knew what I had grown up on, and it's kind of like you go through high school and then when you leave high school, you want to go out and see what you're made of, you know, and I knew I wanted to make a different type of album. And I mean, I think we had like a 10-minute conversation in that direction. And it was funny because I think Tim was like, what do you want me to craft up? And I said, honestly, something that you probably think I shouldn't be doing. You know, like something you might do for Missy, something you might do for Aaliyah, you know? But then I think with Cry Me a River, it put a little bit of a edge to the mentality of what we could accomplish, you know, because it really has an energy to it that's, you know, it's got rock and roll energy, but it's R&B and pop or whatever you want to call it. So I felt like that song was really special for our relationship as, you know, partners in music. Then you look forward to Future Sex Love Sounds, and like that's complete rock and roll mentality. Remember we were driving around Miami, like we were bumping like David Bowie and Billy Idol,
Yeah,
and
like
we were jamming out, just me and him, till like White Wedding.
I believe when we did Future Sex Love Sound, that album, it started off on the right note and the perfect song.
The first 3 songs that we did, the first one was What Goes Around.
Yes.
The second one was My Love, and the third one was Sexy Back. And funny enough, the way the singles came out were in that reverse order. But to me, those 3 songs started a sound that I feel like went on for, humbly speaking, a whole decade. particularly with Sexy Back, but also with My Love and What Goes Around, I feel like it solidified me as an artist. You know what I mean? Because it's like, if you compare it to an athlete, it's like, you got a ring, but can you do it again? You know what I mean? And I feel like that was the energy we were on too. What Goes Around felt like almost like a sister record to Cry Me a River, but it had evolved because when we did the outro.
Yes.
And then in doing My Love, I was like, oh wow, like if you take out the arpeggiated synth, the and you just played the drums and Tim's beatbox, it's almost the same tempo as like one of the old Genuine records on The Bachelor, or even close to One in a Million, because it's just boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom, boom,
Simple.
boom, boom, boom. But that certain element made it feel like you were like, whoa, like it shuffled in a different way.
Once we know what we was going in direction, it was a matter of just every day was a different day. Every day brought out a different feeling. And My Love, I knew the beat was jamming, but I was more excited to see his approach. So when he came in with My Love, it's like he just put his finger and then he sung slow, which I wasn't expecting.
Right.
He said, if I wrote you, you know, I'm not going to do it, but you know.
No, come on, do it.
If I wrote you a symphony. And then he did that. And so that alone just, I think I just like passed out like, oh my God, do you hear this? He's taking, to some people would say, how do you sing over something that's moving? But he slowed down time on that song. So it made you listen to the beat, boom, 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 boom. Wow, some people, you can have bopped anyway. Like,
well, then I'll tell you. So you may not remember this moment, but then what happened was I got to the next section and I was like, you know, now that we're in this doom, doom, blah, like we're feeling that. How do we get him to go? You know what I mean? Like move, like shuffle, like the synth is shuffling. And Tim was the one that actually came up with the cadence. Like he just started going like, and I was like, yeah, that's it. If I could just put the right melody to it. So then it was just about finding the right melody to that part.
it's a beautiful record.
It's different. Doing that record really led to Sexy Back, because then we said, all right, if we're making people double time dance to this, then what could we do at like, I just remember you were playing the beat when I walked in, and it was like, that was another aha moment. You know what I mean? And the beat was playing, and I said, oh, I know exactly how I'm gonna come in here. And he said, doom, 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 doom. He was like, what you gonna say? You know, like he was being that trainer, like he was amping me up. And I was like, I'm just gonna come in like, I'm bringing Sexy back. He goes, yeah. Like just like that.
Yeah.
And like I've said this before, but you know, Tim can't do anything off beat. Like everything, even the way he talks when we're in the room is on beat. I don't know if you know that.
I do know that, and I hate it because I don't like the cadence.
Oh, really?
I be wanting to, because you do so much, and then you know that your life is a rhythm, and you kind of sometimes want to find a different path.
But yeah, but Tim just said, yeah, like that's it. Like, that's where you should go. And I was like, well, that's what you should do. And I think I ended up landing on the lyrics that I ended up landing on, but I just knew it needed to have that attitude.
Yeah.
And then I think the song, we ended up, you know, because there's simple sections to that song. I think it just worked on it for the rest of the day, and it was mostly done. We always say, like, the drums got to be smacking, but we always, you know, we care about the song too. I mean, somebody this morning brought up Blue Ocean Floor to me as like one of their favorite songs that we've ever done. It doesn't have any drums. I think you look at music overall, it's like there's been some really classic duos in all different genres, you know what I mean? Like you don't think of Slash without Axl, and you don't think of Snoop without Dre. Tim has that relationship with a lot of artists as well, and we have our own chemistry. Another thing that makes Tim such a great producer is he's so locked in with the artist that he knows exactly how to push you to do something you haven't quite done, but knows that you will fit so perfectly into the framework, and that you'll, in turn, like shine.
I hate to say this, but we all grow through this point where we have a point to prove, and I believe we met each other at the crossroads. And it's like, what you feeling like?
You know what's kind of funny? I feel like every time we take a break and then come back and do one of my next albums, what do you want to prove to yourself?
Yeah.
That's the mentality that starts to happen, and we push each other. It's kind of a relationship that I don't feel like you could really fully encapsulate with words. It's just, we do it.